We've got the exam skills, and then we've got the general skills. Okay, now the exam skills will be the ability to, plan, structure, and organize a 2-minute presentation. Okay, simple example. Another example might be the ability to understand, decode, and give an adequate answer to the examiner. And not just understanding the question, but being able to quickly understand their accent. Okay, because maybe the examiner's from Scotland, or maybe they're from Wales or somewhere else, and they've got a different accent that you're not used to, and that's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable in the exam if you're having to ask all the time, excuse me, what did you say, and all the rest of it. Okay, so you need to be 100% on top of these exam skills. All right, and the second bunch are your general confidence skills, which are related to your language skills. Okay, and these are important because this is going to give you this is going to give the examiner a true reflection of your ability. Now, like I said before, this video is going to focus on the second lot. If you want the first lot of exam specific skills, okay, and they are important because even if you read and you understand the exam format, that's not the same as practicing it. Okay, one is being aware of it, and the second one is actually experiencing it and getting into the system and internalizing how long 2 minutes is while you're talking. Okay, and another example is how long are you going to talk to? How long are you going to talk for when the examiner asks you a question? Okay, so by doing practice exams and getting these exam skills, then you're going to be much more comfortable, and of course, if you're more comfortable, you're going to have more confidence because you're going to know what to expect as well. But that's one half of the problem solved. The second half we're going to deal with right now in this video. So now I'll just give you a bit of a background. Okay, there's so many students that I've taught over the years that when we're talking about football, or when we're talking about the subject, for example, architecture, they really shine. Okay, they appear really strong, confident speakers, and I can understand them. I can understand all the concepts that they're talking about, even like difficult and advanced concepts, okay, that they might be trying to explain. I can understand them no problem. But then, when it comes to exam conditions, all that confidence just shatters, okay? Now, there's a few reasons to this, okay? Firstly, like we said before, they might not be familiar with the topic, with the exam format, with the amount of time, the accent of the examiner, and all the rest of it. But what also is in play here is like their own self-confidence, okay? They do not think that they've got this ability, and it's terrible. It's really like a terrible shame that a student whose real ability is up here gets graded with a score down here, just because of how they performed in that 11-minute interview or that 11-minute exam with the examiner. Okay, it's not fair, but that's what it is. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it right now except take action to make sure we have a true reflection of our ability. Now, the first way we can do this is to take, first of all, what is harming our confidence? Okay, usually it's our own selves. Okay, usually it's the negative self-talk that's going on inside our heads. Now, the first step to take to solve this problem is to identify when and where that conversation starts in our head. Okay, so write down and just be aware of that conversation. I'll give you an example. You're in a class, you answer the question, and then you think, oh no, you ask a question, and it might be the wrong question to ask, or it might not be relevant, and then you think to yourself, idiot, Why did I do that? Why did I ask that question? And that's not the best mentality to have, okay? If you hear that voice a lot, your negative self-talk, you need to take action to eliminate it or at least reduce it, okay? Now, there's a few steps. First, being aware, identifying it, like we just mentioned there, just now. And then the next thing to do is try and replace that conversation with something that's a little bit more positive, okay? Something that sort of like just focuses on the positive aspects of what's just happened. Like in the case of asking the question, it could be like, well done, you were confident enough to ask the question. Next time, maybe just think about it a little longer before asking, okay? Just something so simple as that will help you, okay? Now, another case is if you are nervous in speaking in general, okay, never mind the negative self-talk, what you can do is you can start taking small steps to improve your own confidence, okay? I'll give you an example. One of these might be to start speaking louder. If you're speaking louder, it's easier to be understood. I'm not saying shout at everybody you see. What I'm saying is just increase the volume a little bit more, okay? And you'll see that people find it easier to understand you. Another tip is to talk a little bit slower. Everybody who meets me and to start speaking to me in English, they don't think I'm actually English. And the reason is because I used to do lots of teaching. I always had to speak slower so people would understand me. And now it's just become part of me and I speak slower all the time. And compared to normal native English speakers, it is slightly slower. If I went back to England after a month, it would go back and start being normal speed. But if you're speaking slower, it's easier to be understood. So that's the second thing you can do. A third thing is, it's another small step, but these small steps will eventually get you there. Okay, so the third thing you can do is start extending the opportunities to talk with other people. For example, at the supermarket, when it's just a normal interaction, you can normally get through that whole interaction with 3 or 4 words, which are like, hi, thank you, here you are, or something like that. And it's very sad, but that's what it is nowadays. And what I'm going to say is, maybe you can take the opportunity to extend those interactions and ask, excuse me, what time do you close today? Yeah, just something like that, and just get into the habit of extending the smaller interactions. Like, do you know if you're open on Sundays? Or is it okay if I leave my bags down here, or whatever? Okay, but just try and get into the habit of extending these opportunities, these interactions into slightly more longer incidences. 3 more techniques and then we're finished, okay? And these are more to do with you in your head on a personal level. And each of these, I would recommend that you implement you practice them just before sleeping and just when you wake up, okay? And do it for at least 21 days. And this is more of a question of discipline rather than ability. But anyway, let's get into them. So the first one is the affirmations, okay? And I won't go into lots of detail into this because I go into more detail in the podcast, in the episode, in the blog post. But if you go to actualized.org, he goes into much more detail about this. But his basic premise is that he's going to speak to himself. He's going to say these affirmations, or in this case, you are going to say these affirmations. I love being confident, okay? And you're going to say it for 2 minutes every day, non-stop. And the key really, and the idea behind it really, is to replace that negative self-talk that you've got in your head, okay? So you just say it so many times that it starts to remove all those negative criticisms you've got and starts to replace it with a more positive conversation. Now the next step is to model somebody, okay? Maybe you've got a confident friend, a confident person, or a confident family member. Try and identify what makes them confident write it down, and then try and implement those aspects of their personality into your own personality. Okay? Maybe they speak louder. Maybe they've got a better body posture. Maybe they've got stronger body language. Identify what it is that makes them confident, and then try and introduce that into your daily interactions, into the way you carry yourself. Okay? And the third final technique, okay, is visualization. And now I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. We've got two options. You can either start visualizing yourself being more confident in general, but the thing which I think would be more valuable for you as an IELTS student would be imagining or visualizing a perfect exam scenario, a perfect speaking exam scenario, okay, where you walk in and you see yourself, like you're visualizing this, and you see yourself smiling, sitting confidently with your back up and your head straight, and you're talking to the examiner, you're smiling, you're maintaining eye contact, and you're understanding all the questions, and it's just going perfectly. Okay? Now, if you can get that scenario in your head and you can start visualizing it in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the evenings, doing this and then get into the habit of doing that 21 days, and trust me, you will have a positive effect on your exam score. Now, I go into much more detail in this in the podcast, so I definitely recommend that. Okay, go into more, there's more techniques, there's more detail, and I paint that picture of exam success a lot clearer for you to even use and incorporate with your own preparation. So, I'm glad you watched it, all the video to this point. It went on a bit longer than I expected, but on a topic that you feel strongly about, that's perfectly normal. Okay, you'll find that you'll do the same yourself when you speak as well. Anyway, so those techniques were mainly for getting your general skills under control. And if you want the exam specific skills, like the preparing of the talk, how long to talk for, accent recognition, strategies and tips and all that, have a look at the Exam Speaking Confidence course in the IELTSPodcast.com website. Okay, and while you're there, you might as well sign up and get more tips, more advice, and download a few podcasts. Hey, fill up your phone and start making it into your own personal IELTS Academy. Okay, take care and good luck in the exam. Jump from band 6 to 7 or it's free. The sentence guide is the answer if you need to pass IELTS fast. Why? Because together we cover the 2 essential skills you need to pass the IELTS exam. Your IELTS exam skills and your English language skills. You get easy to follow instructions which eliminate confusion, frustration, and it makes organising your thoughts really easy. And to improve your English language skills, you send in your essays to me or my team, and we give you feedback showing you how to improve your lexical resource, showing you the errors you might have made, and this practically guarantees that you improve and pass the IELTS exam. Click below to listen to the other students, see what they've said, and then join me together and we can pass IELTS. Okay, speak soon.
Are you confident?